Look, if you want to get as good as you can, as fast as you can in grappling, it'd be a good idea to spend the majority of your training in the most common positions that you're going to be ending up in. In every single wrestling match, every BJJ match, and every single fight, nearly every single one of these categories, you end up in what's called the over-under position, where you're chest to chest, you have an underhook and an overhook, and your partner has the same. It's a 50-50 position where both people have equal opportunity. We're going to be learning offense from here down the road, but in order to make our offense effective, we first have to have effective motion in this position. And there are a couple drills you can develop and use right now to really develop that motion. At some point during the match, you're gonna have to close the distance between you and your partner. And when that happens, a great portion of the time, they'll end up in this over-under position. Let's say I take a shot, Alex has a good reaction, and he catches me on the way in, and we end up in this over-under position. I have an underhook, he has an underhook. I have an overhook, he has an overhook. It's a 50-50 position. How do we advance from here? Okay, I need to be able to create motion. If I push into Alex, he's more than likely gonna start pushing back. And when that happens, I'm gonna clamp down on my underhook and pull and circle. See that big step that I get? I get him in motion clockwise. I get him in motion this way. And we can repeat that motion. Alex can push into me, I go to push back, and he circle pulls. I push into him, he pushes back, I circle pull. Get comfortable here creating motion. The reason I do this is because while he's turning in motion, while he's moving in motion, his underhook is gonna loosen up ever so slightly, allowing my overhook to swan dive underneath, dig high, to double underhooks here, okay? So if I don't create motion and I simply just dig for an underhook, I'm trying to get to double unders. If I just dig, he's just gonna do the same thing on this side. And we're gonna end up in this endless pummel where we're both just expending energy, staying in essentially the exact same position, just changing sides. So what I do is I disguise with motion. I disguise my offense with motion, and that also creates a nice little opening here. Circle pull, swan dive underneath, hands go to gable grip, elbows high. My elbows are not low because he can lock his hands between us. That's gonna nullify my underhooks, okay? I want my underhooks high. Once I'm here, I'm gonna step head side. My head's on this side, so I'm gonna step head side, getting perpendicular to his hips. Once I'm perpendicular, I'm gonna roll my shoulders and flare my elbow. The overhook side, my head side, I'm gonna roll my shoulders and flare my elbow, take his back. Really flare that elbow, okay? It's another reason why you want your elbows to be high here. You want him nice and set up to be flared over top. If I'm low, that's a great distance for him to cover. And also, the closer your elbows are to your body, the stronger you're gonna get. Okay, so his elbows are close to his body here, so it's gonna be hard to flare that elbow. I want him high with his elbows away from his body. Then when I go to step, but much better likelihood of getting to his back. Pushing in, circle pull, swan dive underneath, elbows high, step head side, and watch my shoulders. I'm gonna roll my shoulders, and it's like a whip. I roll my shoulders, and then all that momentum flares out to my elbow, which flicks him over top, okay? Okay guys, so what do I do once I get to the back, okay? Once I'm on the back, it's not enough just to stand there, we have to get him to the ground, right? All I'm gonna do is a very, very simple finish from here. There's a lot of finishes. I'm gonna show you one that's not very explosive, so it's not gonna cost you a lot of energy, and you're gonna end up in a very advantageous position, okay? All I'm gonna do is step on his far foot, okay? I'm gonna step on his ankle, doesn't matter what side you do it to. And then I'm gonna sag my hips low and pull him into me. Sag my hips low. See, there's a little reverberating motion where I separate my hips from his for a moment so I have some space to yank him back into me. Go back, there we go. Here. I don't just stay here and try to fall, okay? I need to have some motion. I need to yank him back into me like a ball and chain. I sag my hips and then yank my grip turn, cover. Very common reaction when you go to take the back. When you go to take the back, his overhook side that you're trying to whip over is gonna clamp down. So I step, get my hips perpendicular, I go to throw, and he clamps down on that overhook, and I can't flare it over top now. Can't get it. We're gonna use the exact same finish, all right? As long as my hips have a little bit of an angle here, as long as I'm not facing him, I have a little bit of an angle, I'm gonna do the exact same finish. Step with my same foot, sag my hips, and pull him down and into me. And there is a little bit of a twisting motion. You want to fall to the hip of the leg that's posting. My left foot's posting, so my left hip's gonna land. It's really important to sag your hips here, guys, because he has an opportunity to throw from his overhook. So you have to sag your hips, or he's gonna give you some frequent flyer miles, send you for a ride. So I pull my grip in tight, step, sag my hips. My hips are sagged, he's not gonna throw me, okay? Sag, pull, turn and cover. Just so you know what you're avoiding in this position, Alex has double overs, or double unders rather, and he gets perpendicular, he steps here. I have an opportunity, or if he steps around to go to trip, I have an opportunity to throw. I can hook this leg and throw over top. I can step deep. Judo guys know all too well, that there's a lot of throwing opportunity here. Hike this up. See how his hips are close? I can throw from here. Step, throw. Now, I can't do that. Alex's grip is low on my hip, and his hips are low. His hips are low, it's way harder to throw him. So if he steps his foot behind my foot here and goes to sag his hips, it's way harder to throw him. I have to get my hips under his hips to throw effectively from here, okay? So just make sure you keep your hips low. Keep your hips low. I have you over. Keep your hips low. Post your foot right behind his heel. Sag and yank him back into you. Turn and cover. Like I previously stated, guys, this is one of the most common positions you're gonna end up in grappling. But oddly enough, we spend some of the least amount of time in our training in this position. Our emphasis is always on shooting or throws or fancy movements, but this simple over-under position is almost guaranteed. Whenever you take a shot, if your partner stuffs the shot, you're gonna end up here half the time. Or just from closing the distance in any manner, you're gonna end up chest to chest, okay? So dedicating a large portion of your training just to this singular position will greatly increase your chances of being successful in your takedowns.